Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP. And I gotta start with this from Travis. Was the SEC unintentionally boosting XRP's popularity? Search trends crash after the Ripple vs. SEC case ends. So was the SEC attention keeping the hype alive for XRP? I think what was keeping it alive was a lot of people were saying, do not sell your XRP until this case ends. As soon as this case ends, XRP is going to $20 overnight. Now that the case is wrapped up, and we're just waiting for the SEC to give an official statement, I think the hype might be ending. But there's so much more to look forward to with XRP. Once the SEC makes that official statement, right after that, we will start to see some NDAs possibly being announced. After that, the ETFs could possibly go live soon after. But this is also going to bring that institutional adoption to XRP either way, because XRP was fully vetted by the United States. There's no more regulatory problems with XRP going forward. But I do believe that the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit was keeping a lot of that hype alive, because every day people were talking about when the case is going to end. Another delay. This is getting very frustrating. Now it's finally over. Arthur Hayes says if Bitcoin holds above 76,500K until US tax day on April 15th, we are out of the woods. I don't understand what he means by that. You know, Bitcoin, in my opinion, still has one last move up. It's going to take the whole space with it when it happens. But at some point, Bitcoin's going to start breaking down. And the money's going to shift like every previous cycle. And we're going to see a fantastic alt season happen. How high does XRP go during alt season? Conservative, $20 to $30. Bullish, 3 digits possibly, if the ETFs are in place. If the institutions are rushing to get involved with XRP, there's so many big things that can happen that can get XRP to much higher price points. I just said in a video yesterday, Binance is calling for a $600 XRP in 2025. If the exchanges are that bullish and everybody else is bullish and the institutions are eager to get into this space, absolutely we can see 3 digits for XRP. Nothing is out there that can stop that from happening. Look at the run back in 2017, 2018. If we repeat that, who knows where we go with ETFs now. Survey says this week's poll results are in. This comes from a poll. Here's how the community voted. 58% believe a weakening dollar could spark the next crypto bull run. If the DXY falls, crypto rises. We've seen that in every previous cycle. So as long as the DXY is falling, you can expect crypto to take off. 61% say Ethereum is losing momentum post-halving. A lot of people are now looking at XRP to lead us into alt season this time around. 48% think markets are just waiting for policy to catch up to the narrative. I would agree with that. I think right now the narrative is institutional adoption is coming, but regulations are still holding back some of that institutional adoption. 46% believe Bitcoin isn't ready to replace gold just yet. Traditional gold still leads. Bitcoin is not going to replace gold. Gold is going digital through tokenization on all of these other networks. 52% think aggressive tariffs could speed up a recession and make crypto a true hedge. That's possible. We really don't know what's going to happen with all of these tariffs yet. So far, the tariff talk has not been good for crypto. But when the money starts coming into the country, that changes things. We just don't know yet. This comes from Cyprus. This shows you everything you need to know. Crypto illicit transactions in 2024 equals $40 to $50 billion. Traditional finance illicit transactions in 2024 equals $3.1 trillion. And crypto is so bad, right? You know, people are going to always use cash for illicit activity. Crypto is a drop in the bucket when it comes to illicit activity. Even Bitcoin and Tether, we know about all the illicit activity, but it's a drop in the bucket compared to how much cash is used for illicit activity. And I even think that's part of the narrative that they're pushing to push us into the digital age and a cashless society where everything would be tracked in the future. Think about it. How would a drug dealer explain that he's making all of these transactions in the future? What are these transactions for? Unless the drug business becomes a legitimate business in the future. But I see what's going on. They have to create the narrative that Bitcoin and the rest of crypto is bad so that they can push the whole put your money in the bank, crypto's not good, don't invest in crypto, that whole narrative that we lived through for the last 4 years. Ripple warns this country is falling behind in the crypto race, and it's not the United States, it's actually the UK. Ripple says it's raising fresh concerns over the UK's sluggish approach to crypto regulation, arguing that it's leaving British banks unwilling to engage with digital assets. What we're going to see is any crypto company is now going to want to move to the United States. The same thing that we watched happen with the crypto crackdown in the US. All of these companies were pushing overseas. Now, because the US is crypto friendly, a lot of these companies are going to start coming back to this country. But the UK, they were pushing ahead, and then all of a sudden, they kind of just started to lag behind. I even thought the UK would have a CBDC in place even before the EU, but it looks like the EU is pushing way ahead of the UK right now. Trump's sweeping tariffs could derail crypto IPOs. Like I said, the tariffs are not good for crypto right now. Several crypto firms that were preparing to go public in the United States are now likely to delay or cancel IPO plans due to the market volatility caused by President Donald Trump's new global tariffs. Former football player and congressional candidate Bo Hines now leads the White House crypto efforts and spoke with the bloc to discuss the administration's crypto strategy. So if they're going to pivot away from IPOs, what's going to happen with Ripple? Are they going to now put it off until maybe 2026, 2027? We'll have to wait and see. I am not a fan of Bo Hines. I think he's a Bitcoin maxi, and I really think he's trying to push that whole the US has to buy Bitcoin narrative. Hopefully, these people finally start to give us a level playing field, because there's a bigger, crypto's so much bigger than Bitcoin now. You see all of these networks, there's so much adoption happening with the XRP ledger. You could say the same about Stellar and Hedera, XDC. Wait until digital trade starts picking up momentum throughout the rest of this year, because the US is going to push towards digital trade as well, or we'll just get left behind. This comes from Zalman Wallet. Would you use a Zalman branded MasterCard that lets you spend XRP and RLUSD straight from your wallet, just like a regular card, buy coffee with XRP, grab lunch with RLUSD, book holiday trips with XRP, and more. Spend like normal, powered by self-custody. Here's what I like about this. I would never use my XRP to buy a cup of coffee. But think about, instead of storing your money in the traditional bank, instead you store it in RLUSD and use it for daily purchases. That would be great going forward. Instead of putting your money in the bank in a checking account, you store it in a Zalman wallet and use it to pay bills, things like that, because it would be tied to a branded MasterCard. So it would be accepted everywhere. And maybe they give incentives to store that RLUSD. Maybe you get 4 or 5%. And if you were to do this every single month, and whatever money's left over at the end of the month before you get paid again, or even at the end of the week before you get paid again, you just take that RLUSD and you buy more XRP. And then you rinse and repeat. There's so many possibilities with this. But this also shows you that you could shop with crypto. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said Bitcoin is becoming a store of value. You know, because right now, retail is pushing away from Bitcoin. I just showed you that. There's probably 8 or 9 articles on that just in the past week. They're saying that the only people holding Bitcoin now are big bag holders and institutions buying it through ETFs. So if retail's leaving, now all of a sudden they have to bring out the Treasury Secretary to give Bitcoin some sort of value. It's like to keep the narrative going. If they keep that narrative going, Bitcoin never dies. When the narrative dies, Bitcoin becomes irrelevant. That's what this is all about. And you see it every single day. Say goodbye to the dollar. You will no longer be able to pay with it and no longer be able to shop with it in these countries. And this is the list right here. No surprise that Russia is on the list. Ukraine is another country. But I think the reason that we're seeing this is because these countries, they want to start utilizing their own currencies. They want a level playing field. Some of these countries are going to have a CBDC very soon. And that's most likely why they're reducing their dependence on the US dollar. But this is what the world wants. You know, this is a global event. This isn't just a US event or a Russia event or a BRICS event. This is global. Every single country is creating a central bank digital currency because they want their own currency. They want a level playing field. It's the same reason that a new financial system that's coming, it's going to be a global financial system. It's not going to be a US financial system or a China financial system. It's going to be a global financial system. And what is XRP? A global bridge currency. This comes from Chad Steingraber. Crypto is machine money, AI currency. And you see another robot right there. You're going to see this over the coming months. This is going to be everywhere. But it is true. Crypto is machine money and AI currency. It's just words right now. But imagine within the next maybe 12 months to 24 months where AI is going to be. And a lot of transactions are going to be happening utilizing crypto in between these robots, in between these machines. This is going to be so much bigger than people think. An industrial revolution is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And in our lifetime, right now, we can invest in 2 industrial revolutions at the same time. That's how big this actually is. And I stress that. And if you continue to hold your XRP long enough, you will capitalize on both of these industrial revolutions at the same time. I'm telling you, if you hold your XRP long enough, you will never sell your XRP. You will get so much passive income from your XRP, you'll never have to sell it. You will be making arrangements to pass it down to your children, to your grandchildren. They will pass it down to their children. This is a generational wealth opportunity, and you have to take advantage of it. You cannot sell because the market turns red. You can't sell because XRP reached double digits. You want to be selling and taking profit at least at 3 digits. Then you hold the rest of your bag for that generational wealth opportunity. But until it happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.